As we approach the end of the tax year on the 5th of April, there's possibly still time to do some planning around income tax to minimise the amount that you pay. The personal allowance currently offers £12,570 of tax-free income and should not be allowed to go to waste, which it will, of course, if you don't use it within the tax year. Here are 3 strategies you could consider that make sure that you're making the most of your and maybe someone else's personal allowance. The first strategy: it isn't always easy to magic up a chunk of income, but a small family company could generate an income stream for those family members with income below the personal allowance, either by means of paying dividends or remuneration. The remuneration route, which means salary, bonuses, directors' fees, etc., is more clunky as certain compliance hoops have to be negotiated. The obvious one is PAYE and real-time information systems. But the upside is that a corporate deduction will be available, providing that the payment is made for the purposes of the business and is reasonably commensurate with duties performed. Care needs to be taken, however, so as not to trigger a Class 1 national insurance contribution charge for the employer, as the national insurance thresholds for the earnings period will be lower than the personal allowance. The dividend route is much simpler to put into place and can be made without worrying about PAYE or national insurance contributions, but there is no corresponding corporation tax deduction for the family business. The recipient does, of course, need to have shares in order to receive a dividend payment, but if these are in place, a dividend of £14,570 can be paid tax-free, as this will utilise both the personal allowance of £12,570 and the current dividend allowance of £2,000. Bear in mind that the dividend allowance is halving to £1,000 in April 2023 and then again to £500 in April 2024. If businesses can afford to do so, a dividend could be paid to utilise not only the personal allowance and the dividend allowance, but also the basic rate band. If you're a basic rate taxpayer, dividends are charged tax at the still generous rate of 8.75% compared to 20% for most other income. Because of this, for a family member with no income, a dividend of £50,270 could be paid before the 5th of April at a tax cost to that family member of just £3,124, which is an effective rate of just north of 6%. The second strategy relates to using trusts. If there is a family trust already in existence, you could consider having conversations with the trustees with a view to making income distributions to beneficiaries who do not use their personal allowances. Minor children are the obvious choice. As long as the trust has not been settled by a still living parent, gross distributions up to the personal allowance can be made tax-free, with a subsequent tax refund claim made to recover any tax deemed to have been deducted at source. For discretionary trusts, this generally means that payments of around £6,900 can be made to the child, with the associated 45% tax credit, which is about £5,600 or so, repaid later by HMRC. The third strategy is to transfer unused personal allowances. A member of a married couple or civil partnership who has been unable to fully use his or her personal allowance can transfer 10% of their personal allowance to their spouse or civil partner. Tax relief is then given to the recipient by means of a tax reducer equal to 20% of the transferred amount. The tax saving for the 2022-23 tax year is therefore £252. It's not a lot, but it's free money. What does help is that the election to transfer unused personal allowance can be backdated 4 years, so in this case to include the 2019-20 tax year if the transfer is made before the 5th of April 2023. The election then stays in force until it is withdrawn, so there's no need to elect every year. The election is only available for years in which both parties are not higher rate or additional rate taxpayers. So this is a great strategy for basic rate taxpayers. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's been useful for you. Please press the like button now if it has. I've got other videos on all types of things from the state pension to, well, all types of stuff. So to get access to those, look for the description below. And of course, subscribe so that you never miss an episode. My name's Justin King. I'm a chartered and certified financial planner. My aim is to help you live a successful life. That often involves understanding your money. I host a podcast called the Retirement Cafe Podcast. You might like to tune into that. Check out the description again below where you can get a link to the podcast. And of course, you can sign up for my weekly newsletter, which is packed with inspiration and tips for a successful retirement. For now, I'm Justin King, helping you live your best life.